Many traders are failing because of mindset issues rather than strategy issues. Most traders won't use stop losses, isn't that interesting? In any given system, whether it's a high win rate system or a low win rate system, you're going to have a percentage of losses. So the best thing is to make all those losses good losses. Good losses. Good losses. Welcome to the eternal merry-go-round. That's a bottomless pit that you'll never come out of unless you wake up. Our emotional brain thinks that us losing a trade means that our existence is being threatened.
Yes.
So you want to fight, whereas it's just a losing trade. People don't stay long enough with a strategy to see the benefits of sticking with a strategy. If your expenditure exceeds your revenue, how can you build a sustainable business? Sustainable business.
For me, odd season comes when Bitcoin dominance goes below 50%. 50%. Welcome to another podcast with me, Zee.
And with me, Enzo. So now that we're coming into this week, Zee, and bringing in our focus on various events, what are some of the major highlights that you're thinking about focusing on? Any particular projections?
From a trading point of view, we look at the charts, right?
Okay.
And when I look at the charts, I sort of see highs get made, right? So highs were made on Nasdaq. Nasdaq hit 25K, 24K. If we look at Bitcoin for me, because I'm into my crypto, Bitcoin made an all-time high last week on the 14th of 123K. When highs are made, Enzo, as a trader, you're looking for falls, right?
Okay.
You're predicting that the market is going to fall. And when the market falls, and that's what it's been doing since you can say this morning.
Okay.
We've seen a bunch of different things. We've seen the dollar index start to climb up a little bit. We're looking at Nasdaq fall. We're looking at Bitcoin fall. And apart from that, something pretty interesting happened this weekend.
Okay.
So if we look at the sort of broadcast here, there was a meeting in Alaska.
Oh yeah.
I've never been there. I wanted to go.
Yeah.
But there was a meeting there between Trump and Putin. This was the famous handshake.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right. So he met Putin, and they talked about a peace deal.
Yes.
2025 into 2026. They're talking about a peace deal, and I think today this continues because I think we have Zelensky from Ukraine meet up with a bunch of European folks, and they're all meeting at the White House. So hopefully we get to hear through this week. We hear about peace. And so this is just a famous walk.
The red. They got the red carpet out for him, didn't they?
They got the red carpet.
There's quite a few people upset about that. Didn't think he deserved the red carpets, considering that some people think he's a war criminal, right? Yeah.
Everyone has.
But I noticed Trump with body language. When he took his hand, he allowed Putin to put the dominant hand over his, but then he tapped him on the hand.
Yeah.
Trump told him body language basically says, "I'm the boss."
Yeah.
Which is kind of not surprising from Trump, really, right? Got two alpha males clashing. Right?
Trump needs to feel macho because he's the one that organized it. So body language, the handshake.
Yeah.
Then he had the sort of Air Force jets.
Yeah, that's right.
So he had the
Show
Air Force
power.
stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a power move. And so it took place in Alaska. This is the famous handshake.
Yeah, that's where he taps him, like a little pet, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was the tap. And so that happened.
See how tall Trump is, compared to him. He looks quite small, don't he? Yeah, but I heard he's got a black belt in judo, so I wonder if he just throw Trump over his head or something.
No, they're looking for a friendship here. This week we have a few different things on the board. So if you see on the chart, this is what I do. I create these lines here, marking.
You're talking about the economic data that's coming out this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this week, there's one that doesn't take as much sort of eye-catching experience, but U.S. building permits is something that I'm really, really looking into. Because U.S. building permits shows you how many houses are going to be built for the year. And if there's more houses being built than before, that means the U.S.
previous number, right?
The
so if there's an increase, that's
a strong economy.
Okay.
So even though, like, if you look at Forex Factory, so when we look at Forex Factory, we can see that this is a yellow flag. It's a yellow flag. So
that's like a medium importance, right?
Medium. For me, because
you think there might be a it could be more significant than it's made out to be, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I think U.S. building permits shows you the strength of a country.
Okay.
Then you have a few other economic data. So then the next day you have FOMC minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So you have sort of either hawkish, dovish point of view
Yeah,
there
yeah.
for the next hour. So the market reacts our time 7 p.m. So then I want to see, for me as a trader, to see if levels get hit. Right. I need to see the liquidity sort of taken at 23,800 to see if we make lower lows down here. That's all I see from a trading point of view.
You're talking about the Nasdaq now, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Nasdaq, and it's for any assets. It's the same thing. I look at it from a.
Are you looking to catch some kind with that? Are you looking to catch some kind of retracement or an actual short? Are you looking to go? What's your? Do you have what's your operation?
So my perspective since last week was I've been in shorts.
Okay.
Because once a high gets taken,
Right.
so Nasdaq made a high of 24,000, Bitcoin made a high of 123,000. So for me, I'm like, okay, now this needs to retrace.
Okay.
In some way, so
So are you trading the retracement, basically?
the retracement.
Okay.
So that's been my psychology.
Okay.
To me, it's sort of
So you're like a counter trend trader, are you?
exactly that's my way of doing things. Some people like to long into things.
Yeah, yeah.
I normally see things too good to be true.
Yeah.
Things are way too high. Okay, now there needs to be corrections. So
I remember hearing a criticism of that once. Not that I'm saying it's wrong, but
Yeah.
one guy said top and bottom pickers become cotton pickers.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
I think that's hilarious. I think that's hilarious.
I remember when I read the Market Wizards book
Uh-huh.
that all the traders disagreed with each other, yet they were all with their own strategies doing well.
Yeah.
So generally, a trader who likes to trade with the trader might make a statement like that.
You're pretty big into psychology.
Right. Yeah.
And you talk about how sort of, we talked about perspective. We talked about sideways markets or range in markets
Right.
and sort of trending markets, right?
Yeah.
And that's what markets can do. And I think what people do is we overreact quite a bit. It's the way we're programmed. It's the
Sure.
way we plug in. So I asked you a question before the podcast. What are you looking forward to this week? I've told you what I'm looking at, but you said something really interesting.
Yeah.
You said to me that this is the same as any week.
Yeah.
So could you give the sort of the folks here a bit about that strategy? So when you say that I'm just looking for the same thing next week and the week after and the week after, what do you mean?
I think what I was referring to was that on any given trading day or week, the mindset that should be kept, a healthy state and in the right orientation. There's a number of things. People talk a lot about trading psychology and why it's important. I think many traders are failing because of mindset issues rather than strategy issues. Many times the reason why a trader may blow their account isn't because they stuck to their strategy. It's for other reasons, right? So I think there's certain things in regard to how people think about trading that can help them to navigate in what is a very challenging environment. And that's what I mean by that. So I personally I like to refer to having a probability-based mindset rather than a certainty-based mindset. And that means that we understand that trading has this aspect of uncertainty about it. I'm not saying we shouldn't prepare, we shouldn't do our research, and that at times we shouldn't even project things, but it's kind of recognizing that while we know a lot of things, there's always going to be something we don't know, but there's always going to be something could happen we weren't prepared, even with our best preparation. So I think managing risk is very important. Having that ability to stick to your plan, and to however way you manage risk. I mean, there are a number of ways to manage risk, but the good old stop loss is still my favourite. But most traders won't use stop loss. Isn't that interesting?
I find like with stop loss, it's dependent on two things, right?
Yeah.
The environment that you're trading in.
Yeah.
And the asset that you're trading in.
Yeah. I remember blinking just a couple of years ago, and it was at 10,000 the Nasdaq.
Yeah, 10,000, and now we're sitting at 24,000.
Yeah, so that's a good 140%, isn't it, based on that benchmark?
Yeah, the S&P Nasdaq. I think what happens is a bunch of new companies get introduced to the index. So this year we've had sort of the AI group, right? We've had OpenAI, we've seen Nvidia, and these companies, they sort of bring in a new sort of recipe or a new sauce to the Nasdaq, and that's why people take an interest.
Yeah.
And that's why we have all-time highs, because it's the most highest performing index that there is. Nasdaq, S&P, and the Dow. I used to take a lot of trades because I used to bot trade.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
Right, I used to have the bot take about 100 plus trades a day.
Like a super scalper.
As a super scalper, exactly. And it would adapt. It would be a really cool bot. And I still program with that bot when I trade. I give myself only 6 trades in a week.
Okay,
maximum.
so you've reduced the volume massively.
Yeah, I've reduced it quite a bit.
So you used to do 100 trades a day with the bots, and now you do 6 trades a week.
6 trades a week.
Okay.
That's the kind of things that I had to do with the markets, but the markets changed. We weren't getting ranging markets. Ranging markets are great for the bots because you always have pullbacks, you always have levels get hit, and then sort of stays in a pattern.
Yeah.
And for bots, it's sort of easy buys and sells,
right,
and then sort of taking profit because that's quite strict. But when you go into a trending market, as we did when Trump came in, same thing in 2015-16 when Trump came in, we had the same thing. The markets changed the things, so we had to move from like sort of taking shorts and longs and short-term perspective ranges. We had to take trends, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I had to do. I had to reduce the amount of trades the bot was taking, and then at one point I had to turn the bot off, and I had to put it back into learning mechanisms, and so I had to take trades and then feed that data into the bot.
Okay.
So that's where we are right now, I think. But the bot is starting to pick things up.
Right.
The second we hit that Nasdaq high, it changed my perspective.
Okay.
So instead of like holding the long that I was from last week, right? Last week I was here with Ikjot, and we were talking about unemployment and PMI, and I said we are going to make highs, right? And I was able to catch 3 good longs.
Okay. There's a phrase I use which is called taking a good loss. Because some traders think there's nothing good about any loss, but a good loss is a loss that really is part of the fabric of your trading plan. Because unless you've got, I know there's traders out there, a lot of them on social media claim to have 100% win rates.
Yes.
Well, if you've got 100% win rate, why have a stop loss? And contact Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, because soon you'll be trumping them on the world's richest man or woman list, right?
Yeah.
But in any given system, whether it's a high win rate system or a low win rate system, you're going to have a percentage of losses. So the best thing is to make all those losses good losses. And what's a good loss? 2 things. One, it's a loss where you lost what you plan to lose. Everyone just plans to win. No one plans to lose.
No one plans to lose.
But a percentage of your trades are going to be losses. So don't risk 100 on a trade and then tell me you lost 1,000 on it. That's a bad loss. And then the second thing is that characterizes a good loss. So a good loss is where you take what you originally said was the amount you were willing to risk to see whether your probability would play out on the upside. The other thing is it a loss that was part of your plan? Did you trade the setup you said you would trade? And if you lost doing that, and you may have done, there's no people say I was wrong. No, you weren't wrong, because if that setup comes up tomorrow, you'll take it again.
Yeah.
It was just that particular incident led to a loss, and if you keep doing it, you'll get the percentage of those winners at whatever your risk reward ratio is that will make you profitable. So the big thing around this is like, look, it's not actually about winning and losing; it's about profitability. So you can lose a lot and still be profitable. You can win a lot and still be profitable. You can actually win a lot and still be unprofitable. So it's also about being strategic about that. And obviously this affects the psychology, because if traders feel that when they lose, they've done something wrong. Now they may have done, but sometimes there are such a thing as good losses.
Yeah.
Whereas what we're always trying to do, a lot of traders, we're trying to fix stuff. So like the moment a system has a losing trade, like, oh no, surely this shouldn't happen. Let me find the system that doesn't lose. Well, welcome to the eternal merry-go-round. That's a bottomless pit that you'll never come out of unless you wake up.
Because I had one trader who was going through, like, he had 2 days where he passed his prop challenge, and then he calls me the next day, says he lost $2,000, even though that was artificially construed. That's how the prop works. Now in his mind, he lost 2,000. He needs to make up for it.
Of course, yeah.
So what did my friend do? He took another 15 trades.
Right, yeah. He went into over trading, revenge trading.
and he goes, "What do you do after loss?" I'm like, "You step away and you disconnect from it. You go see a partner, you go see your family, you have a drink, you sort of
have an alcoholic drink, smash up the house,
smash up exactly."
But that's what you're talking about. See, that's the primordial response, isn't it? It's the fight or flight, because we feel our emotional brain thinks that us losing a trade means that our existence is being threatened.
Yes.
So you want to fight, whereas it's just a losing trade. If you're going to be rational about it, it's just part of trading. But to the emotional brain, it's going berserk. It's like can't cope, you know.
And a bunch of influencers I would see on YouTube, they talk about the winning and the easy money and sort of the high risk, high reward claims. But no one talks about the losses. No one shows a loss.
You got to love it all. Wins, losses. You know, you'll get losing streaks, but you'll also get winning streaks if you stay long enough with a good strategy that's got a statistical edge. You know, can you get 10 losses in a row? Yeah, but then statistically, you could also get 10 winners in a row. But people don't stay long enough with a strategy to see the benefits of sticking with a strategy. And obviously, if at the end of a significant period of time your strategy is not yielding profitability, then you have to kind of look under the bonnet and see what's going on, right?
Yeah.
But usually it's not the strategy's problem. Usually it's the trader's problem. And the trader is the weakest link in any strategy.
He goes against the strategy.
Yeah, so like he might have a strategy that says, hey, you know, I have a profit target 3:1 or 2:1 or whatever, but they keep getting out the moment the market gives them a little bit of profit. You know, and the Chicago traders had a phrase for that. They called it eating like a bird and shitting like an elephant. Because you're taking little profit. Yeah. And you know, you can't imagine if you run a business like that. Can you run a business?
No.
Taking little profit from little. In fact, it's not even profit. Revenue. If your expenditure exceeds your revenue, how can you build a sustainable business?
Yeah.
So like, that's what it boils down to. Is controlling the expenses of trading, because that's all losses are, expenses. They're the cost of doing business. If you own a restaurant, are you going to start smashing up the restaurant because you've got to go and pay the chef or buy the food?
Something that really interests me is Bitcoin dominance. So we're going to end it with Bitcoin dominance. This is looking good. Even though we're pulling back on Bitcoin overall, for me, odd season comes when Bitcoin dominance goes below 50%.
Okay.
And currently, we went from almost 60% down to 59%, and we're looking to maybe see this thing hit lower things. I think 50%. The sort of tweets I get, the sort of DMs I get is like, when are we pumping, right? And to me, altcoins pump when we go below 50%. So now Bitcoin dominance is down 50%. Now Ethereum and Solana's and these ecosystems get more of a gain. So I'm still waiting for that, but we're getting closer. Right? We used to be 62%. Right? Was how much Bitcoin dominance used to be. And this was about August 20. So this is just recently, like 2nd of August, right? The start of this month. Bitcoin dominance was about 62%, and now we're sitting at 59%. And I think this also plays into what happens in September with interest rates.
Okay.
Does Powell cut them? And so all these things are sort of lining up.
Yeah.
But for a trader, it's always boring for me.
Yeah.
But as a person that looks at data,
you find that kind of inspires you, gets you fired up. Yeah.
Gets me fired up for the next month, for the next month, for the next week.